All right, we have a little bit of time. I just ordered some pizza, so I got pizza on the way. By the way, it was half off. Like Domino's, all pizzas were half off, so that was pretty nice. Um, I got a lot of pizzas. I got a lot of pizzas on the way. I maybe went a little overboard when I saw all pizzas were half off. I got pepperoni, the ultimate pepperoni, the deluxe, and a bacon and onion. 3 pizzas, all for $20. I mean, can you really go wrong? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be eating pizza for about a week, just about an entire week. So I figure this is probably a pretty good opportunity to talk about that idea that I had. You know, I figure this is a pretty good opportunity. Since we're still waiting for the console to not be overheating. So yesterday I talked about an idea that I had for Super Mario World, but I wanted to think about it a little more and like get my ideas in order. Basically, this is it. Okay, so it's basically an idea for how to make levels in the future for Mario World, like a new way of thinking about levels and level design and course design. And what it is something I've actually been thinking about for a really long time. A few months after I got into Kaizo, I actually had this idea, and I started creating it in Mario Maker. And I kind of gave up pretty quickly because I realized that Mario Maker just couldn't do what I wanted to do. It would end up being kind of janky and not really work like I wanted it to, and just a lot of wasted time, and there were a lot of issues because of Mario's inherent like gameplay design. You couldn't really do what I wanted. I call it kind of like this design concept that I have. I call it like Mario freestyle. Okay. And the reason why I call it that is because I think it is like a course that is designed specifically for Kaizo in mind, specifically for a contest kind of thing, like a Kaizo contest where people can freestyle through a level how they want to do it, sort of like skateboarding competition. I don't know if you guys ever have seen a skateboarding competition, but it's basically a course where they can just kind of do what they want to do, and they do their own tricks, they make their own tricks, and they go through the course with their own tricks. And I kind of wanted to do something like that. But of course, Mario Maker is way too limited for that. But Lunar Magic, after playing around with the tools, seeing what's possible, seeing some of the already built assembly hacks out there, I think it's possible to do this in Lunar Magic. So, like, what I'm thinking of here, I can actually even show you guys a video. Like, this is a video here. You can see, this is what I'm talking about. So, I want to bring something like this into Mario Maker. Not skateboarding exactly, but something very similar to this kind of freestyle competition is what I want. Okay, so this is kind of what I want to do, and I actually have a plan on how to make this possible. So here's the plan. Okay, here's the plan on how to make it possible. The idea is basically. Let me think. Hold on, one second. Let me get my notes straight. Okay. So the idea is basically the player decides how they want to get through the level in the most swag way possible. But in order to do this, we actually have to change the way we think about level design. We have to change the way we think about the game itself. Like, the biggest problem with something like this, for instance, is when Mario, the player, dies, okay? That's the biggest, like, kind of issue with trying to do something like this with Mario. So when Mario dies, he goes back to the beginning of the level, and it, like, really hampers the ability to, like, truly freestyle through a level, you know? Because you can't just go through the level as you want. You just go back to the beginning and have to do it all over again. And it's just, it's just not conducive to freestyling. Another issue is linearity. Like the levels are too linear. It's from point A to point B, and it's not like freestylish. So that needs to change also. These are all things that we can do in Mario World and have already been done in Mario World. We just need to create the tool set specifically for this Kaizo contest, and then we can just start creating courses that are made for freestyling. So how do we do this? Okay, like one of the tools we need is like an assembly hack that if Mario gets hit for anything, he does not die. Okay, instead he would gain invincibility frames, sort of like when Mario takes damage when he's got a helmet on in Mario Maker. Take that and make it happen instead of dying. Okay, in Mario World. All right. So you just get some invincibility frames, but you did get to keep going. There'd be no like power up loss or anything because you wouldn't die. The next thing you would do would be you change the linearity. So instead of having a goal that you have to get to, you'd have to have maybe blocks or something that you have to hit each one in order to beat the level, and you just hit all the blocks and the level's done. That way you can start anywhere in the level that you want and be able to freestyle your way around it like you want. So those are the things that we would need. Also, we would need, in case you fall into a pit, some kind of teleportation block that if you fall into the pit, you get put back on either the last place you stand or the closest place to stand. It's actually not that much ASM work, Nintendesi. A lot of the work has already been done. There's actually hacks that do some of this stuff, not exactly this way, but you could probably take those hacks and just modify them somewhat. Yeah, there's already assembly for no death pits. There's already assembly. Actually, look, there's already assembly for not dying also. The other thing that we would need, is, let's see, is just the blocks that allow us to make non-linear levels, you know, which already exist in Mario World. Already exists. There's different things that you can do. People have already made levels like this where they're non-linear and you can grab the different spots or different whatever you need, you know. The only thing that we would have to change after getting all of these hacks about our level design is how we think about our level design. Right now it's like super linear. We would just need to think of ways to make it more of a course, more of a way to give the player multiple Kaizo techniques, multiple ways to approach these different problems of getting the different goals in the level. Maybe even have some optional goals in the level too, by the way. But yeah, it's probably one of the hardest things to think about when it comes to level design, but I think it's completely possible. Am I wearing makeup? No, I'm not. I think it's completely possible. I think it can be done. Let's see. We could other things that aren't quite necessary but might be useful for something like this is maybe revamping the score system, the point system in Mario Maker. You know, where you get points when you hit shells and stuff like that. Maybe revamping the point system so that it actually works really well in this new game style. But yeah, so that's basically my idea. It would also actually even the basic concept of this hack would actually be useful as well for beginner Kaizo hacks, so that you could make a beginner Kaizo hack where you're not punishing the player for missing a jump or missing a thing, and they can just go through the level and just count up the deaths. Oh, you know what? That's something that I didn't mention. So every time you die, because you wouldn't die, but every time you got hit or fell in a pit, the death counter would go up, so people could see that the death counter actually, like, how many times you've died. So that's actually a really, really important part of this idea that I've got. Um, so like it would be really important for like the contest and for judging and everything. Um, so yeah, so it would be really good for Kaizo hacks where you could just make a Kaizo hack where it's non-punishing for if you mess up and you can just keep going through the level, and it would be really good for beginners, I think. And then you can just play the level over and over and over again without like worrying about whether you missed that jump, and you can play the whole thing from the start to finish and just see how many times you died in the level. You know what I mean? So it would be a really cool way to make a beginner's Kaizo hack. And then they could just practice the hack over and over and over again until they were really good without having to go back to the beginning every time they mess up. So yeah, that's my idea. I think this is where Mario needs to go. I think this is like the next evolution of Mario. I really do think that this is like the way to go. I think it's the way to go. And for this, you could just no, this is not save states. So how this is different than save states is the death counter goes up. Okay, the death counter goes up, so you would be able to tell how bad you did in the game. It's way cleaner than save states. It's a feature in the game. So as far as like a course that's designed specifically for this contest in mind, you would also have to have judges for something like this. Of course, there'd be a lot of objective judging going on with the game, like as far as players' score, coins collected, and how many deaths they had, how many times they messed up, but and how fast they did it. But there's like subjective stuff too, like the difficulty. How difficult were the tricks the player chose to do? How consistent were they with those tricks? Did they mess up? What was the recovery? How original were they with the tricks that they chose? So it would be a really cool Kaizo contest with judges and a whole like freestyle setup. I really think that is the. It is gonna be. I think it's gonna be awesome. I think it will be awesome. I'm gonna highlight this, by the way, this whole like thing, because I kind of want to share this video. I want to share this idea with other people. So I'm gonna highlight this. People will have an opportunity to watch it. I might upload it to YouTube, so people will have an opportunity to watch it and see what I'm talking about. Personally, I think it's a good idea. It's something that I want to see. It's something that I want to see happen. And I think that it would be really fun for players because it gives players freedom. It gives players ideas to like, I don't know. I think it'd be fun to do as a player because I don't know. It's just more freestyle-y. You know what I mean? The other thing that I want to do,